All right, Zach Neal, go ahead.
Coach, I know that a lot of the fan base is really excited over the past couple of games, and they might be a little bit frustrated that that momentum might be stopped because the next game obviously got canceled. Have you seen any of that with your players, or at this point are you kind of just used to the way things are going?
Well, Zach, I think everybody's kind of adjusted. You know, we were fired up about playing. You know, you have a good weekend, you want to keep playing. You know, and timing sometimes helps you, sometimes it doesn't. You know, and so it's going to be a long week. Guys don't like thinking about practicing for 6-7 days in a row without a game at this point in the season, but no, they practice hard Monday and Tuesday. We'll practice today. We'll probably take tomorrow off just because I don't think we can, keep our focus that long. And so we'll scrimmage a little bit today and take tomorrow off, and then come back Friday, Saturday, and try to prepare for Washington.
Rob Mosley.
Dan, I want to ask about Will specifically, and you mentioned him kind of taking more of a vocal role, more of a leadership role, and that being a key to the success last week. Any thoughts about what spurred that? Was it conversations you had with him, someone else had with him, just kind of frustration with where things were at, and he took command? What was behind that?
Well, Rob, I think it was a combination of all those things. The coaching staff, we've been talking to him about it all year. He's our most experienced player. He's very talented. The guys respect him, so, and he's watched Eugene and Chris, who were really good leaders a year ago, Peyton the year before that. So he's had experience with guys. Paul White was really good his senior year. So he's had experience with those guys, and he knows how important that is. And so I think, we finally got a little frustrated with the way things were going, and has really done a good job. I mean, he's just talking in the huddles and, reinforcing what the coaches have to say. And, it just kind of brings everybody together.
If you don't mind, if I could follow up real quick, because he's kind of naturally a little bit of a soft-spoken guy, at least with us. He almost reminds me of like a Marcus Mariota, where, I mean, is it harder than some other leaders to get him to raise his voice with guys, or does he just have a different demeanor within the team than he does outwardly?
Well, it's not easy for him because he is quiet, and so, personalities, Chris was a talker, and Eugene, he was just that energy, so, some people it's easier for, but Will, has done a great job, and you don't have to say a lot, but you have to make sure that the guys understand that, this is the direction we got to go. I'm all in, you guys got to get all in, we got to go this way. And I think, what he's done is, brought everybody together in that regard, and kind of gave us a direction.
Matt Preem. We got you on mute, Matt.
Sorry about that. Dana, your thoughts on Devion's just efficient shooting? Because early on in the season, he wasn't shooting a good percentage, and I don't think he had much over 40%. And now it's a pretty consistent deal where he's right around 40-50% from the field.
Well, I think he's just gotten a lot more comfortable playing with the guys. It's no secret this year, we've struggled, a connection, especially defensively, but also offensively. But if you look at the analytics and Ken Palm and all those, our offense is way ahead of where our defense is. And so, that connection is really important. But for Davion's numbers offensively, I think it's just, he's got a really good understanding now where his shots are coming from. He's being aggressive in transition, which gives you a couple easy opportunities. He's ready to shoot the ball when guys penetrate. And I think, one, penetrating kick he had against USC to start the ball game. We had Jacob penetrating, and he was ready to shoot it on that wing right in front of their bench, and he caught that thing. There was no hesitation, and so again, I just think he's much more comfortable, and he's a good offensive player. He's got a good 3-point shot, a very consistent 3-point shot. It's got great arc on the ball. He works at it. He's in the gym all the time. So, we needed him finishing a little better at the basket, especially with his right hand. But I think he's really focused on that now, and trying to get to the free throw line, because he's a phenomenal free throw shooter. He's 80 some. In an area we're really weak, we'd like to see those 80% free throw shooters getting to the line.
Andrew Hodner.
Dana, do you have any back-end concerns just about scheduling? I mean, the more of these things that get postponed and put off, the more it seems like the conference is going to have to jam them all into February before March. Are you worried at all about how many games per week you might see if this keeps up, or if there's going to be any issue of 3 or maybe even more games per week as the conference tries to make games up?
Well, there won't be any more than 3, Andrew, but you kind of get concerned, with the Colorado game being made up next week. We're only going to be 1 game behind. Last year in February, we had only played 7 conference games, and I was worried, and I thought we jammed up way too many there late. I was worried about, injury, because, we were playing 3 every week. And so I was a little concerned a year ago. But if we don't have any more cancellations, we should only have 1 more 3-game week. And so, I'm hoping that's the situation. I do wish that we played Washington, say, on Saturday or something, just to give us a little bit more time. But no, with only 1 game to make up, I think we're still okay. But if those numbers pile up anymore for us, then, you're just worried about late season injuries, playing 3 games, being on the road. Those things kind of do start concerning me.
Chris Hansen.
Yeah, Dana, what are your thoughts on just the progression of Dante and how he's improved this season? I mean, he's playing more than he ever has. He's playing more minutes than he ever has, and he just seems to be getting better and smoother and more relaxed out there.
Chris, if you look back, he just hasn't played much ball for us. He came in late. He's only been here 25 months. I know it's his 3rd year, but he's only been on campus, 25 months. And, he got here, he had tendonitis. We didn't get much out of him that freshman year. I think he played in 9-10 games, and, minutes very low because of conditioning and tendonitis. And then last year played 6 games and tore his ACL. So, he hasn't played many games for us. And if you probably look at it right now, he's probably, in the 3 seasons that he's been with us, the 2 years, he's probably right now to 30 games, somewhere in that area. I'm not sure the exact number, but I would say 30 some games. So 1 year. And so it's taken a while, and coming back from an ACL on a big fellow like that is a little bit more demanding, a little tougher than it would be on a smaller guy. When you're 245, 250 pounds, 6'11", it takes a while, and it takes a while to get comfortable and confident in that knee. But his conditioning is improved. I believe he played 26 minutes kind of in both those games. And he took a few minutes off. I told him during those minutes, we're going to have to get that a little better shape. But if we can get, 25 to 30 minutes out of him, and on a given night, there's going to be some nights he's in foul trouble. We might not get that many, but if we can get solid, him running up and down the floor, because you see what a difference it makes when he runs. He got 2 easy ones against Oregon State running the floor. Got another easy one against USC running the floor. It makes a big difference. Conditioning does on offensive rebounds, because you can't be a good offensive rebounder only going after ones in your area. You got to move and get out of your area to be a good offensive rebounder, and conditioning is a big part of that. So hopefully, he'll continue to get in shape, and give us minutes. But we got to get him the ball more, Chris. He went 6 for 7 against USC. He went 5 for 6 against UCLA. I've never claimed to be the smartest guy, but those numbers are pretty good. We got to get him the ball a little bit more. And to do that, he's got to consistently post up so our guys know to look for him all the time. But our guards need to throw it in there more. And we need to get him the ball some more, because those numbers, his percentages are really, really good.
Shane Hoffman.
Yeah, Coach, I know you touched on this a little bit over the last week, but with a guy like Eric Williams, he was just one of the kind of quartet of wings you guys had last year. And this year, he's the guy on the wing and he's coming off the bench. Just wondering how he's been handling that role, and just in your eyes, how he can continue to kind of adapt his game with all these guards.
Well, Eric went through a stretch there. He had some injuries. He wasn't feeling right and struggled a little bit like our whole team. But I've been really impressed with the way he's bounced back. He's given us great minutes. And, I think Eric's pretty basketball savvy guy. He figures he's been in a lot of the minutes that count, those minutes down the stretch. I always tell our guys that I'd be a lot more concerned about the minutes down the stretch than I would the start. They all want their name called so they could dance and, bump fists with everybody. But, bottom line is Eric's been in a lot of minutes when it's counted. And so, no, I don't know how he's handling it. Appears to be good. We've got our lineup for right now, and he's getting his minutes. He just needs to continue to play hard and worry about doing things to help us win.
Billy Spots.
Hey, Coach. You guys had a rough start to the season at 6-6, but you're 5-0 over your last 5. What's been like the mentality change both within the team and within the coaching staff?
Well, the guys, are feeling good. They're pretty energetic now. They were frustrated early. We all were. It's hard as coaches. You try to be really consistent, win or lose. Here's what we do. This is how we do it. We just got to keep hammering away. If we're not successful, if we are successful, we don't change. This is what we do. Here's our practice. We try not to change our personalities off the floor, win or lose. We want the guys to know they can count on us. And so, off the floor, we don't ever change. This is what our expectations are. And, we try to be there to support the players all the time. And on the floor, we try to be really consistent. Now, there'll be some times where the players get frustrated, coaches get frustrated. And the energy level seems to really change when the players really feel confident and good about themselves. And so, in those times that we don't have that energy, is kind of the coach's obligation, clap their hands a lot, try to get them going. But guys are working hard. And that's one thing I'll give them credit for. Even when we were really struggling, they never quit. They never quit working hard. They just kept looking for answers, just like our coaching staff. And we worked together to try to get a few answered, and we're playing better. But I told the guys, that's no guarantee that we'll continue to play better. We got to make it happen. And it was a great week for us. Everybody's got their heads up. But the only way we continue that is continue to work hard and continue to get better, because other teams are going to get better. We still got 2 months to go in the season. Our season's a long one. We start October 1 and we're not hopefully done till April 1. That's 6 full months, and so we still got over 2 months to play, we hope. So just got to keep hammering away and hopefully getting better.
All right, we've got time for 2 more. Zach.
Dana, it's not uncommon for coaches to tell us that they're kind of ignoring all the outside noise and not focusing on anything that they can't control. That being said, you guys are a big story right now, and people are talking about you. I mean, ESPN named you the team of the week last week. Have you seen that play any effect on the morale of the team, or just kind of how they carry themselves off the field or off the court right now?
I don't know. We don't talk about that stuff. I'm not a big social media guy. So, unless the assistants bring me something, I don't follow that much. But, the guys, I think, Zach, it's just the fact that, they know they're playing better, and they know they're playing together. And this is a team sport. And so, when guys feel like they're connected with their teammates and we're traveling and, we spend a lot of time together, you're on those buses, you're on flights, you're in the hotels, you're in team meetings, you're watching film together. We spend a lot of time together. And so when you're winning and everybody's kind of having fun, that just increases the energy levels. So, and when you're not winning, that's when the coaches, like I said, got to clap their hands a lot and say, hey, fellas, we'll get this going. We got to keep working. You got to provide more energy. But right now, the guy's pretty energetic, and, it's our job just not to change the course. This is what we do in practice. We're not cutting back. We're not taking it any easier because we had a good week. We're going to practice hard. We're going to practice harder. You guys got more energy, so let's use some of that up, and let's get better. And like I said, Monday and Tuesday practice were really good. Guys really tried to compete, and today I hope it's the same.
Last question, Andrew.
Yeah, Dana, I think back to that BYU game where in the post you had mentioned that, you had been soft on this team, and things have very clearly kind of changed since. I'm just curious how your personal approach changed after that game and how that's kind of bearing some fruit now.
Well, again, Andrew, nothing changed off the floor. Like I said, I want our coaching staff to be consistent, be here for the players. So, nothing really changed off the floor. It's just, fellas, I haven't done a good job. I haven't pushed you hard enough. We're much better than this. If you don't look in the mirror yourself, you can't get your players to look in the mirror. And, I told them, I said, I haven't put the piece together. We haven't, we're not a team. It's my job to make you a team. We're not a team. We're not playing hard enough. You guys aren't connected with each other. You're definitely not connected with our staff. And all of us got to change this. I'm not saying you got to check all the responsibility. It's all of us. We all got to change. And, and I said, fellas, this isn't going to be just like turning on a light switch. This isn't going to happen overnight. We have not done a good job for a matter of time. So this ain't going to just click. It's going to be gradual. We're going to get it back, but we will get it back if you work, because you're talented. And I never questioned their talent, Andrew. I said, Dante, you're still a good player. You just got to get in shape. Frank, you're a really good player. You got to understand what you can and can't do defensively. Nate, you got to work harder. Isaac, you've been out for 2 years on a mission. You just got to keep pounding. It's going to come. And I just went down each of the guys like that, because I didn't question their talent, but I questioned whether they were connected. I challenged each of them to work harder because I didn't think we were working hard enough. And I took the blame for that because I didn't push you hard enough. It's my job to push you and demand stuff from you. And when you don't like those demands, it's my job to explain to you why they're important, for you to understand why they're important. And we didn't have that connection. And so I think it's gotten better, but by no means are we solved. We've got so much work to do. We still got a lot of question marks. We got still a lot of things that we can improve upon. All you got to do is watch the last minute of the UCLA game to know we better work on late game situations. And God dang, we got to start hitting free throws, and our execution offensively can get so much better. Transition D has got to improve. We've got to put things together quicker on the defensive end. So a lot of things to work on, but as I mentioned, great practices last couple of days. I hope the guys keep it up the rest of the week and we get ready for Washington. Washington's playing really good, so we're going to have to be ready to go on Sunday evening.
All right, Coach, we're going to wrap there. Thanks for the time.
All righty. Thanks, guys.